Hey everybody, welcome to Let's Talk with Pumpkin. I'm your host, Pumpkin. I would like to take a moment and just say thank you for everyone who has asked questions and responded to my survey. And I have a couple questions that I thought were really great, and I'm going to go over those with you right now. Alright, the first question is from an anonymous asker, and their question is, what is the hardest part about mending relationships post-trauma? Well, the hard thing with mending relationships is you have to find out if it's two-sided. And sometimes if you're not on talking terms with certain people, you're not going to know if that other person feels the same way or not. So for me, this is actually something that I struggled with a lot because I had a couple people in my life where I wanted things to be a certain way, but they weren't at that point, and I was kind of pushing them a little too much to be like, hey, just because I'm here, I think you should be here too. And then later I realized that's not really cool. Sometimes you find out that that person doesn't want to mend a relationship and you're kind of on your own to seek closure. And that, I think, is honestly the hardest part about mending relationships, because you actually don't get to mend it at least the way how you're hoping to. It sucks. I know from experience how much that freaking sucks, guys. And it almost seems impossible to find closure on your own, and it's not impossible, it's just a lot more difficult. I think the best thing is going to find a support group that is going to be supportive of you on your healing journey, whether that's friends, coworkers, family, people you find online like me. Just make sure you have a group of people that has your back, because ultimately that's the most important thing. Okay. Alright, the next question I have is from Christopher asking, what's your worst fear as a person, parent, spouse? If people don't know about the law of attraction, pretty much what you focus on is what you tend to attract in your life. And I know for me, fear plays a big part in healing from past traumas that I've had. I don't have normal anxiety. My fears are based from complex PTSD, which I'm still working through. And some fears, are valid, and others are completely just an overthought problem that you're just at that point freaking yourself out and stressing your body for no reason. And so that's where you have to figure out if fear is going to be something that is going to be ultimately, safe for your survival, or if it's hinging on your well-being. So for me, I can't really say what my biggest fears are as a person, parent, spouse, because I try not to manifest those fears into my life that I may or may not have. I know when I was pregnant with my son, he's almost 4 months old now, but that's kind of when the world was in the middle of being shut down, and sex trafficking has been brought more into light, which is a great thing. But where we live, I don't want to say it's a super bad part of town, but it's not a super great part of town either. So I got a little paranoid for like a couple months, especially my last trimester with my son, that I just had this thought of like, what if we get kidnapped and it's a 2-for-1 because I'm pregnant, and then they wait until I give birth, and then I just had to get that out of my head for the longest time, and I don't know why I had that irrational fear for a while, but I did. But yeah, I'm at the point where if I do find a fear that comes up, whether as an individual or a fear that I may have projected onto my spouse, or a fear that I might have about my son, I try to realize, get in tune with myself and be like, okay, how realistic is this fear? How likely is it to happen? Is this something I can prevent? Is this something that I'm just freaking out about because maybe I haven't had enough sleep? Your self-care determines a lot about where your brain goes, and you can't be reactive to those things. You have to be preventative and aware, and when you have those thoughts, be like, okay, why am I having this thought process? And you need to connect those dots, and that's ultimately what helps you start healing from various things and realizing like, okay, I'm overthinking. You need to find something that's going to help bring you back, whether that's meditation, yoga, reading, You just need to find the ways that are going to bring you back to you, your true you, and not your scared you or your angry you. So I know it was more of a personal question for me about what my fears are, and I wanted to turn that into a learning opportunity of, yes, I do have fears. A lot of them are irrational, and I want to work through those, and I want to teach you guys how to work through those as well, because I feel that it's very important to realize how rational or irrational a fear may be. Alright, so I do have one more question, but I feel like the explanation would be really lengthy, and I'm trying to not have really long videos. So tune in next time, and I will answer that question then. And until then, thank you for tuning in, and thank you for supporting my goals by helping you.